It's a great pleasure to welcome Amelia Womack, Deputy Leader of the Green Party. Welcome, Amelia.
While Lindsay was speaking, I realised that I had my Stop the War sticker on my folder from a demonstration about 12 years ago, so I wish we weren't still discussing and arguing about these things, because let's face it, it's been quite a struggle in terms of making sure that we've got our message out there and making sure that we're making those changes that we want to see. But it's a privilege to be here, and in 1 week's time I'm confident that we're going to have won more people over onto our side about peace and disarmament. I confess, the march coincides with the Green Party conference in Harrogate, so we'll be discussing with our party the prospects of the forthcoming elections. We'll also be there in solidarity with you as you march on the streets of London. In fact, we'll also be leading a march of our own through the city of Harrogate on that same day in solidarity with every single one of you on the streets of London. And as we march, and at this moment in time, a British submarine armed with nuclear missiles is somewhere at sea, ready to retaliate if the UK comes under nuclear assault from an apparent enemy. According to the Ministry of Defence, a British ballistic missile submarine has been patrolling the oceans, prepared to do the worst at every minute of every day since the 14th of June 1969. Interestingly, the people of Spain, Sweden, Canada, Mexico, and almost all of the world's other countries didn't wake up this morning feeling unsafe because they don't have a nuclear defence capability. And for those who do have one, like here in the UK, the weapons don't protect us from terrorism, stop the devastating effects of climate change, or end the need for food bank use. Let's face it, as insurance systems go, Trident is a pretty odd choice when it makes us less safe, not more. My Green Party colleagues and I take every opportunity to attend nuclear disarmament events and rallies. Every time our message is clear. Weapons of mass destruction have no place in Britain and should be consigned to the dustbins of history. Those obsessed with military power, and therefore the renewal of Trident, and continually changing their message, they have to, because they need to make an outdated weapons system appear relevant, and then convince us that the UK is in danger. I was born near the end of the Cold War, where the prospect of mutually assured destruction from an all-out war with the Soviet Union was quickly becoming an invalid narrative. They'll do everything to ignore this, and the views of the public when it comes to austerity and the renewal of the Trident defence system. We should never let the government get away with not including Trident's £100 billion price tag. That's because when the public are asked about the cost of Trident, they consistently favour other spending priorities such as the NHS and deficit reduction. This government wants Trident and its costs off the agenda. It doesn't want it to be an election or a key campaign thing like it was in the Scottish referendum. The people of Glasgow, Scotland's largest city, turned out in big numbers to vote yes. I spoke with many people in the city when I attended their conference. I campaigned for a yes vote, and when I spoke to people from the city, Trident was so close to their hearts. They are less than 40 miles away from Faslane, Europe's largest stockpile of nuclear weapons, and they do not want them there. So let's join Glasgow. Let the people of London, Liverpool, Manchester, Cardiff, Belfast and Newcastle stand up and say, we don't want weapons here either. And the UK can be a force for good. Imagine Britain as a good global neighbour, a neighbour committed to peacemaking that helps create the conditions for a flourishing life for everyone on this planet. For now, we have a government that's in favour of replacing Trident at the cost of £100 billion. As we all know, this money would be enough to fully fund A&E services for 40 years, employ 150,000 new nurses, build 1.5 million affordable homes, build 30,000 new primary schools, or cover tuition fees for 4 million students. Yeah. Of course, the financial and moral issues will be at the forefront of this debate, but there are so many more safety issues surrounding Trident that it seems absurd that we're continuing to use it. Some of you might remember William McNeely from earlier this year. McNeely was a member of the Royal Navy who was until very recently stationed at Faslane. That it was until he published an 18-page report in May with the details of 30 serious breaches of safety and security. One of his main concerns was the scary shortage of personnel to work on the Trident missile system, and he also accused Navy chiefs of covering up a collision between HMS Vanguard and a French submarine in the Atlantic Ocean in February 2009. On top of this, and I don't quote Michael Petillo that often, I'm just going to put that out there, but even Michael Petillo, former Defence Secretary, says that Trident is a waste of money. I think that says a lot. And in spite of this, we have a First Minister in Wales who would be content with Trident coming to our coast. A few years, Carwyn Jones said that these weapons of mass destruction would be more than welcome in our country. Let me send you a message. Let's send a message from all of us here in this hall. The people of Wales, the people of Scotland, the Green Party will not let you put these weapons on our soil or on our coast. Let our message be loud and clear. Trident is not welcome in the UK, it's not welcome in Wales, it's not welcome in Scotland, it's not welcome on our coast. So whether they're based in Wales or Scotland or at Faslane or Coalport bases or in England, at AWE Aldermaster or at Burgfield, or whether the nuclear warheads are taken out on public roads like the M4, the M25, the M1 and M6, and indeed many of our smaller roads and towns and villages up to 24 times a year, we say that they're not welcome on our small island. The Greens have a loud voice when it comes to telling the public about the consequences of Trident renewal. We're fortunate to have Caroline Lucas, our MP who works tirelessly in Parliament to make the case for nuclear disarmament. She knows the importance of working with progressives from all political parties, and she's doing so on Trident renewal. So there is a block of committed MPs in Parliament from the Greens, Plaid Cymru, Labour and the SNP who will never give up fighting on this issue. Friends, it's so important that we all work together to convince our leaders of all our political parties about the important role the UK must play in taking forward a nuclear ban treaty. The Greens have never believed the UK should be a nuclear weapon state, and we never will. And let's do everything we can to make sure we achieve a high turnout next week. As I said, I'll be marching in solidarity, and deepest apologies for not being there, but the more people we can win over for this campaign to build support for the future, I think that we've got real momentum at the moment, and hopefully we can educate a lot more people about the indefensible role that Trident plays on our shores. Thank you.